Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon. How you doing? Nice to meet you. I hope you're doing so very well. Today I'm going to be reacting to 5-star reviews of my worst 2022 reads. So if you're interested in me being maybe a little bit salty, stick around.
She went away on Christmas Day, didn't come back till New Year.
The first book I have here is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I didn't like this. I didn't like this one bit. I have a review. I will link it down below or on screen if you're interested in all my thoughts. This just fell flat for me. This was not a romance that I liked. I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't like the friend group. I didn't like the romance. I didn't like the destructive behaviors. Like, this was a hard no. So reading people gush about it is not something I really want to do. But I'm going to do it for the entertainment of you wonderful. Affinity doesn't even cut it. How's the weather, Parks? Quite gloomy after finishing this book. I'm obsessed. I'm in love. The universe is my new personality, and I've only read book 1. Oh God, please don't let this be your personality. I beg of you. Also, I should probably just slip in here. I mean no ill will and complete and utter respect to everyone who reviews and loves this book. I appreciate any thoughts and opinions on books as people's personal experience, and I like people to do the same to me because I have my own thoughts and opinions. So even though I will be saying slightly salty stuff, I do not mean any harm or offense by it. Also, if any of these are your favorite books, power to you, but it's a no from me. Parks and Beej. He gets called BJ throughout this whole novel, and I hated it. I hated it. I just, have ruined me, but in the best way. They remind me of mini Chuck and Blair. No. Don't fuck with Chuck and Blair, okay? Chuck and Blair, sophisticated, fuck around relationship was nothing compared to Magnolia and Beej, okay? BJ, Beej, whatever you want to call him. Chuck and Blair are a very unique relationship. Magnolia and Beej aren't. He is a narcissistic, cheating asshole that wants Magnolia and wants no one else to have her, but isn't willing to change to be with her. And she is a narcissistic, rich woman who wants everyone to drop at her feet, but also doesn't want to appreciate people who do that for her, and walks over everyone for someone that doesn't even give a shit about her enough to be nice to her on more than one occasion. Okay. Daisy, Christian are already my faves though, so the next book's gonna own me. I'm sorry, but if a man dedicated his entire body into making it a canvas for me, I'd let him cheat on me too. Or you could just find a man that would be willing to do that without the cheating. Also, he cheated on you with, spoilers, this is going to be spoilers, he cheated on you with your best friend. I think you're leaving that out your review, because would you want your man fucking your best friend just so you can have a couple of tattoos on his body? Better your decisions than mine, because it ain't my fucking decisions. 5 stars. Oh my god, this book. This was frustrating and I loved it. No, it was just frustrating. As much as I like gatekeeping books, I think everyone should read this masterpiece. Gatekeep it, please. I don't want it. You can have it. I don't like it. Okay? No words can comprehend how much I love this. It's a whole roller coaster of emotions, but worth it. I love Magnolia with my whole ass being. No, Gossip Girl meets Made in Chelsea. I can see where the Gossip Girl-esque comes from, but it's not Gossip Girl, and it's not Blair and Chuck, and it's not even romantic, and it's not even nice. Like, the characters barely like each other, and when they do like each other, it's just because they want to have some sexy time. And he is a piece of shit. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why people are... I can't understand why people are rooting for this. I mean, I like some books that people think are shit. and I like some romances that people think are shit. I just fall into the camp of BJ can go BJ himself. The next book I have here is Hide by Kirsten White. Hated this. It was not what I expected to be. The writing was mediocre at best, and the plotline sucked. And the characters weren't built up enough. They were all 2D. So yeah, let's read some people that loved it, because I didn't. Oh look, a 5-star horror book. 14 competitors in hide-and-seek tournament, 7 days not to be found, in an abandoned amusement park. Can a setting get any better than this? I think not. This was like if the Hunger Games and the Maze Runner had a demented but still fun baby. And I want to say more, but I can't without fear of spoilers. So basically just read it, okay? Yes, the setting, 14 competitors, 7 days to hide, sounds absolutely amazing. But when you add in the threat that was in this book, sucked. Like, I wanted 14 competitors in abandoned carnival to hide for 7 days and get killed off one by some scary psychopath killer. Maybe even in a mask, you know? One of those really cheesy slasher horror flicks that I just live for because I am a slasher girl at heart. This wasn't it. This wasn't it. The threat was kind of ridiculous, wasn't built up enough, the characters were not built up enough, and the setting was not used to its best potential. White holds no punches in this brilliantly executed play on miniature myth. Every twist and turn horrified and delighted me in equal measures. This book was so damn fun. I felt nothing. I felt nothing. They could have all died, and I would still be here feeling nothing. An amazing read. I loved this book. It sent shivers down my spine, and I want to hug it so much. No. I had no shivers. I had no full body chills. I had no goosebumps. I did not even have a whisper of a hair on the back of my neck stand up. Nothing. There was one thing that bothered me about this book. There's a character who's supposed to be a disabled Gulf War combat veteran. Her leg is more metal than bone and is almost unusable at times in the story due to her combat injury. And yet she makes multiple comments that she can't financially afford physical therapy, medication, or other treatments, and that her insurance won't cover it. If the author had done her research whatsoever, bothered to talk to a single veteran, she would have known that the whole scenario is nonsensical. Any United States veteran injured in service like that, especially to the point their military career would be ended, gets free medical care for that injury for life and disability check to boot. The Department of Veterans Affairs exists exactly for this purpose. See, in continuity, straight away, like, I would have not picked this up because I don't live in the United States. So I wouldn't really know how their healthcare system would affect a veteran. But again, like, yeah, the author could have done some research. And not only with this, but with, like, the queerness of this story, I felt like it was just in there for brownie points. It didn't feel like the author had any passion or want to write that into the story. It just felt like it was there for brownie points. This isn't in continuity. I feel like the myth of the beast that is in this story, like, could have been built up so much harder if she just researched it, which would have made a bigger impact. I felt like all the characters could have had bigger and better personalities if she just done a little bit more research on other personality types instead of just having a blank slate of stereotypes. A contender for my favourite book of the year, you bet your ass. Well, it's on my worst, so at least it's on somebody's best. This was so predictable and cliche and silly and dumb in all the best ways. I love it. Big recommend. Would make an excellent film. I do agree that it would make an excellent film. I do think this would make a good, entertaining horror film. I just think it lacked in book. I think what was lacking in the book would have came across better in the film because the characters would be actual built-up characters and the setting would be used to its full potential. I feel like all the things done well in a movie of this book would be all the things missing from this book, if that makes any sense. The next book I have here is Before by Anna Todd. I finished this series with gritting my teeth and dragging my ass through this book. I hated it. I didn't like it. It was pointless. There was no need for it. What could have been a good ending to this series was wasted potential. So let's see how other people loved it and why they loved it would be more interesting to me. I have officially read every book in the After series. Tessa and Hardin's story will remain very near and dear to my heart. These books are unforgettable and have taught me so much. I'm so sad that the books have come to an end, however, I'm ecstatic to see the movies this weekend. Please show support and see the movies even if you haven't read the book. It comes out the 12th of April. I watch the films because they're fun, they're entertaining, they're that kind of films that you put on and just kind of like zone out to. This series was not one for me, and I ended up reading the whole series because it was easily accessible on Audible, Scribd to be exact, and I needed a certain amount of hours and a certain amount of listening to get me through a work week where I could actually listen to audiobooks, and these were an easy go. I was knocking books off my physical TBR because I bought the whole series thinking I'd love it, ended up hating it. There are so many problematic things with this series, and I think the thing is I recently just done a video of reacting to 1 stars of my favorites of 2022, and in that book there was, in that list there was It Ends With Us, that is marketed by Colin Hoover, that's marketed as a romance to young adult readers, and it gets a lot of shit. This should get a lot of shit too, because this is marketed as a romance to young readers. It's not romantic, it's problematic, it's traumatic. There is characters in here do really fucked up things. Like, this should not be classified as a romance, in my opinion, because their relationship is not romantic. Like, please tell me what is romantic about Tessa and Hardin, apart from the fact that they fight tooth and nail to be together. That's the only romantic notion in this that I could get on board with. Everything else was bullshit, problem, trauma, narcissism, hateful, just selfishness. Like, I don't get it, okay? A very appropriate ending. The eyes were teary. No. I loved it. Great to read more about Hardin. No, it wasn't. It was not great to read more about how Hardin had fucked over so many women and then came out on top as a successful book writer. Like, no, he does not deserve this ending. He does not deserve Tessa. He does not deserve to have success because he is a shitty human being and has been from even before the first book in the After series. Like, I'm not crying for a dickhead, okay? No. We're not going there again. Been there once, been there twice. I'm not going a third. I really enjoyed this book. It was different format to the other in the series, but it was good, different, I would recommend. Anna Todd, you're making of my existence. Please make more books about Tessa and Hardin and their... No. Series was awesome, and this book really brought it all together and let you see things from other points of view. It was a great ending. Like, it let you see things from other people's points of view, but they didn't hold any meaning because you didn't get enough. Like, in this book you got before and after, and then you got during, but we already know the during. We've already read a whole 4-book series during Tessa and Hardin. So I honestly think the before should have been longer and more detailed, and the after should have been longer and more detailed, even though I don't agree with Hardin having a happy ending. I just didn't like it, okay? It's fine. I thought it was going to be more about his life in England, but I'm not complaining. I loved that after chapters from Zedland and Christian Smith and more Hesse family life. No, like, the thing is I liked having the POVs of other characters. I'm not going to say I didn't, because I did. And I enjoyed that, but I didn't like the fact that they were cut so short to include things we already knew just from Hardin's perspective. Also, going into Hardin's past may have not been the best idea because you already know he is not the greatest person, so digging through his emotional bullshitted baggage about what he's done to other women does not make you a fan of him. And then to see that he ends up living happily ever after with the woman he loves and having children and being a successful writer, it's like, okay, so you can be a shitty human being and just live the best life ever, which is not great. It's not, it's not great, okay? I don't care anymore. I don't want to talk about this book anymore. I do not recommend the After series. I do not recommend any book in this video, to be honest. But if they're your favourites, I do truly apologise for shitting on them. But also, I respect that they're your favourite, respect that they're not my favourite. So that is everything I have for you today. Thank you so very much for watching. Remember to stay safe, happy and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.
She went away on Christmas Day, didn't come back till New